Yes, I had a tuna sandwich, and it was fine.
Okay. Where was it from?
Lassen's, so it's very healthy.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee because I'm sick. I still have a cold. And you have your water accessible to you. Okay. You're ready to go. Not gonna happen. You're such a profesh.
But everything seems this won't like it. But
that's all screeners. Please spill on those. I don't want to watch any of those. Okay. Oh, hi. You're listening to Service from Hell, a podcast featuring people that are currently in customer service positions or the lucky few that got out and all the good, bad, and infinitely irritating things that go along with that work. I'm actor and writer Kate Gaffney, and I'm uniquely qualified to discuss this as I currently work at a very busy and very popular comedy club in Los Angeles, and at least one of you listening right now has probably grabbed me and told me that you were ready to order when I was running around like a crazy person. I'm still sick and I sound like shit. I'm sorry. So let's eat. I'd like to welcome our guest, Rob Van Guelpen. Originally from Danville, California, Rob is an actor, writer, and editor and avid golfer who is running things out in LA. Rob graduated with a BFA in theater from Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. He then came out to LA and has been booking work ever since. Most recently, he was in the 2018 release of For Jennifer. Rob is also a co-author of the song Two Drink Minimum, written to express artistically the rules of the comedy club where he works. I better know Rob from having him throw water bottles and beer caps at me from behind the bar and telling me to shut up. Rob, we want to know. Tell us more.
Hello, hi.
Hi, Rob.
How are you?
I'm good. So you're an actor first. Is that how you would identify?
I think so, unless you're speaking financially. Yes, I'm an actor first.
Wait, how would you financially identify?
Bartender.
Oh, okay. So you mean for like your mainstream?
Right, that's what,
pays your bills right now.
All the way.
All the way, all the bills. But you go out on auditions a lot, Rob. You're being a little humble right now.
Not as much recently, and all commercially, which is like devastating to an actor to just do commercial auditions where you're like, don't worry about lines, don't worry about character, just show up. Yeah.
Oh, it is, yeah. It's specific, but that pay. I mean, a lot of people are doing commercials. That used to be a faux pas, but now it's kind of like people are getting it a little bit more. I mean, for performance, it's awful, but the ego part of it, we're like, yeah, we got to pay rent though.
Well, it's like I want to do stuff.
Yeah.
And commercials don't pay as much as they used to, so it's not like
that sucks. Hardcore.
The golden era.
So what would be your goal as an actor? I
think just to book theatrically enough to replace my bar income, because I really don't care about making too much more money than I'm making ultimately. I just would prefer to not be in the service industry.
Yeah. So your ideal would be to quit completely.
I mean, yeah, ultimately, yeah, but
good for you. What would it take? Like, what would be your, like, if you booked 3 commercials in a row? Would you just
no way.
No way, right?
No way.
Yeah, it's not consistent enough.
Yeah, it's not enough money.
So what if you booked 3 feature films in a year? Would you quit?
Depending on the level of that film.
Exactly.
It's all the money in the bank for me, and it's like I have to average out a good salary for like the previous 10 years before I would feel comfortable. So I'd have to save a huge sum of money to feel comfortable quitting.
This is what everyone doesn't understand. It's like, it's not like you book your first film and then you're like, die in a fire, everybody. I'm fucking out. It's like you do actually have to put everything in order. Jessica Chastain has a great quote about that, where they were like, after she booked 3 huge films in a row, they were like, what's different now? And she's like, I bought a washer and dryer. She's like, literally nothing is different. She's like, I'm too scared.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think if you go long enough without working or making any substantial money, you're like, I'm not going to give up income.
Of course not. Of course not. Okay. So what made you pick Southern Methodist?
My second high school acting teacher after my first teacher was moved.
Okay.
Possibly for suspicious behavior with students.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Really?
I feel like there's a scandal that I've forgotten. You know what I mean? Like I haven't thought about this for so long.
Okay.
But I feel like there was a scandal. But required high school class, one theater or art, whatever, took it, was with this old teacher. He was amazing and hilarious, but like not great with acting maybe. And then a new teacher came in and was like, this is a serious program. Like, don't mess around in here. We're going to learn how to act. Like I learned all the stuff I learned my freshman year of BFA. I had already covered pretty much with him.
What a gift.
Yeah, he was awesome. And he couldn't get into SMU. Or didn't get in, like repeatedly trying when he was younger, and he ended up at like Yale. Like, so he was very talented.
Holy shit!
And just so when I got in, he's like, "Well, you're gone."
So you had applied because he was like, "Hey, this is a great theater."
Yeah.
And they have a great theater program.
Very good at the time.
Yeah.
Still very good, I would imagine.
Yeah. Do you feel like you learned? I mean, you said the first year was kind of a wash because you knew it, but
it's still like you're diving so much deeper into it. It's like if you're not getting introduced to it, you get to revisit it, and it's even better because you're like, oh yeah, I remember the lessons I learned, and you can learn new lessons then.
Do you feel like you were classically trained? Would you say that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. My whole senior year was Shakespeare.
Oh.
And it's like a very intense program. It's like.
What was your favorite Shakespearean anything that you did?
I feel like I had such a good audition for. I can't even remember. I didn't get the role, but when they described like the next day in class, the teacher was like, oh, this person had a really good audition. This is what they did. And I was like, those are my choices. And he was like, somebody else. And I was like, no, you're misremembering. I know those were my choices. Like, there's no way. God, I can't remember.
It's okay.
But I just love the study. You know what I mean? Like when you're studying with a teacher who really understands the nuances of the language and everything, and you're expected to be at that level, or at least try to. You're like, oh, this is actually pretty fun.
Yeah. So you get the BFA, and then do you immediately move to Los Angeles?
I go home for a few months.
Danville,
okay. Hanging out. You can't go home for too long after college. I feel like too many adults in the house, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta go. So I visited down here a few times trying to find a job, staying with friends from SMU who had already moved out here previous year or the year before that. And I got a fresh hot job at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company about to open on Universal City Walk.
Oh, God. My first LA customer service job was in City Walk. Oh, that's crazy.
Wow. It's the worst.
It's the worst. It's actually the worst. Okay. So I remember you telling me a few things about this, but we'll dive deeper in a second. So you started at the worst company, but are you auditioning throughout that whole time?
So at that time, like I moved here and it was like LA Casting and Actors Access, there weren't, Casting Frontier wasn't
a thing.
Or as, like maybe it was the thing was very small. But like you'd submit and I'd go on auditions and it was like, oh, I booked a web series and it was paying like $100 a day and they were filming like 3 days a week. And I was like, well, this is pretty sweet.
That is pretty sweet.
This is easy, And I was like...
Being an actor, super easy.
And then like after like a year of that, you're like, all right, maybe I can do something better. Maybe I don't need to do start looking for other things. And then like you do nothing and you're like, oh. But in the beginning, it was like, it's so easy to just get stuff that pays a little bit and like get stuff for your reel. This is going to be great.
And you don't care as much because the stakes aren't as high. You're like, I just need content.
Yeah, and you're like, everything is fresh and new and you don't care. And then you come to realize that it's all going to look questionable quality. You're like, oh.
Can't use that.
I guess that's not good for my reel necessarily.
Waste of that time. Okay, so how long do you stay in? So you're working customer service at Bubba Gump Shrimp. Do you stay there for a while throughout this whole time?
So I become a server trainer at Bubba Gump Shrimp almost immediately because there's a new staff, so you have a chance to really rise in the ranks.
Oh boy.
You know what I mean?
Oh boy.
And I had a really solid Buca de Beppo base level from Dallas.
Sure, of course.
So I was really trained at the corporate
level. Woo! Corporate restaurants, baby.
So about 6 or 8 months, I think I stayed there, and I had started to work at McCormick and Schmick's at the end.
Oh, wow.
Because it was like, this Bubba Gump's a little tiresome. There's Forrest Gump trivia. There's flipping of like they can get your attention by flipping the license plates.
Wait, are you serious?
Red to blue, like a Brazilian steakhouse, but
Wait. We're jumping ahead a little bit, but like, sorry. I have to know. You didn't know. I have to know this. That would be how the customer would get you to come over to their table.
So yeah, not there to any tables. Like if you pass a table that has a red license plate exposed, you're supposed to stop and find out what's going on and help them, right? So like, if you go to Bubba Gump, you can watch servers like actively avoid trails that lead to red signs. You know what I mean? Like it's. You're like, no way.
Like, I see red.
But it's loud. It's 2 license plates. It's the blue license plate on like little swivels.
No. So you go to McCormick and Schmick's and you're like, now this whole time, are you training and acting?
I'm doing a ton of workshops at this point.
Oh, God.
I was doing the old workshop route when it was really like, that was like super prevalent.
What a hustle that was too. And it's so expensive. What he's referencing is casting director workshops where you would pay to get in front of people that were like casting, allegedly, for big films or like a television show. And like some of them were legitimate. I will say that. But I mean, I think I spent arguably thousands of dollars on that.
I never ran my tab and I had a friend who got like 2 legitimate opportunities from all his garbage workshops.
And that's the problem is we all had the friend that got the work. So we're like, fuck, I don't want to cut this opportunity off for myself. I guess I'll keep going. And then you just, did you get any work off of him?
No, I didn't even get an email response.
See?
I walked out of one. Somebody was like, you should just consider acting classes. And I was like, I just graduated college. And I was like, the person I was with, I was like, he's not even in the same scene as me. And how am I the victim? Like, I was like furious.
I
was like, can I get a refund? They're like, no. And I was like, okay, bye.
Yeah, that's it. I'm out. Did you do one of the schools where you paid the monthly fee and then you got access to all of the workshops ahead of time?
No.
I got suckered into that. That's how
I wish I had. Yeah,
no,
I could have done more.
No, trust me, it wasn't great. Okay, so you're taking all these workshops. Are you putting more money into, even though you do have a BFA, are you putting more money into the bullshit that they send you out on the circuit out here of like, now you have to do this workshop or now you have to do this class or this school?
No, I was super reluctant.
Good for you. I get it. Because you have a BFA.
Well, and like, I mean, I felt like my teachers were just phenomenal people, so intelligent, so like they were there because they wanted to teach.
At Methodist.
And they were so good at what they did. It was like, oh, this is great. Like one of them helped start the Guthrie Theater. Like, I mean,
holy
like,
shit.
Like really, really good,
wow,
high level people. Like, and I had our acting program was, or not, I don't know what Cecil was, but he was like very involved with Steppenwolf, and he's friends with
Holy
all these
shit.
people, and he graduated from these crazy things, and you're like,
these people knew what they were doing.
and yeah, this is what they want to do.
So you're like, I'm not going to waste my time.
Right. I was like, I want to go to a teacher who's better than those teachers. That's the class I want to take in LA. And it's like, well, that's no problem. Just take 5 years of our class and you can move up to the master class and then you can meet the person. And you're like, no, I'm not going to do it.
And you're going to spend thousands of dollars in the lower ranks. Okay.
Which I didn't have. I was like,
none of us have it.
well, some people do.
Well,
I did it.
yeah, you're okay. Okay. So you're like auditioning, you're going, you're moving forward. So at what point do you feel like you found your stride out here where you're like, okay, because you're repped now. And so do you feel like...
No, never. No, I feel like still no.
Yeah, we all
hate
do.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I wish I'd had more opportunity and better auditions that I didn't book.
Yeah.
So I could move on.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Like,
So-
it's not like I don't feel like I've failed in a grand enough way to quit acting.
Oh, what a fucking honest thing, Rob. That's so honest. I feel that in my bones.
Does that make sense though?
Yes, I feel that in my...
Right? Like if I had like 10 network auditions that were perfect for me and I didn't get them or move on at all in them, I'd be like,
maybe the universe doesn't want me to be an actor.
yeah, I guess I'm wrong.
Oh, Rob, I feel this in my fucking bones, what you're saying. Yes.
Right.
It's so real because then you're like, all right, I gave it a go. Like I'm not meant to
And I got a
do this.
shot and I
Yes.
didn't get it. And that's
Yeah.
fine. Like that's
Yeah.
not,
Yes.
that's the world.
That's the way it goes sometimes.
And they were like, you're going to get so many no's, rejection's going to be so hard. And all you're like, no.
No, it's not.
No.
It's part of the business. We get it.
And you can't get no's. I can't get to a no.
Wait, God. Oh, it's so, I could start crying, but that's not what this podcast is about. But that is so fucking real, Rob.
Right?
Yes, I so get that.
That's my life.
Yeah. So you, Rob and I are gonna go commit suicide. Like it's fine. There's traffic out front.
I'm not. I'm going to go play golf. That's what I do.
Avid golfer. Avid golfer. So as of right now, where you stand with artistic pursuits, you are still because he just came from an audition. He's not saying that right now.
I go on commercial. I have a commercial agent I'm very happy with. We have
Yeah.
no interaction whatsoever. I go on auditions. I show up for them.
Full stop.
Yeah.
That's where you're at. Okay.
I've had some good agents.
Yeah.
I've had some bad agents.
Oh, same.
None of them have gotten me any audition.
Oh, I feel it in my bones. Oh, this is so real. Okay, so you, as far as where you're like sort of seeing yourself, are you producing things on the side for yourself?
Producing a little bit, more like trying to find things that I just want to work on. Like the music video for Two Drink Minimum was just something like me and Pluggy used to get a little drunk, maybe do a little karaoke in the apartment on some evenings, and they're like, all right, we'll move that into like just messing around with the microphone and making beats, which is something I used to do with my friends when we were just,
Like
morons.
in college? Yeah.
More like a Silver Lake kind of thing. But,
That's on brand. For anyone outside of LA, it's a very hipster area. Okay, so you guys would do that, and then you put together the song, and you're like, I want to make a video for this. And
yeah, we
like,
love the song. We're like,
the song is
genuinely
great.
just love it. It just gets stuck in our head, and
Yeah.
so it's fun. And then I was like, it needs a music video because I want to be able to
Put it out
Like
there.
when we put it online, I just want people to be able to enjoy it fully. Like not like, oh, I wish it had a video, or I wish
Yeah,
I didn't listen to it because it was a SoundCloud link, or you
Yeah.
know, whatever it is. Like it's just hard to get something out.
it's true.
And you're like, well, I like this thing, so I don't want to just throw it
Away.
into the void just with nothing.
So what was the inspiration for that? Why the song?
I mean, we were both serving, so it was like a big 2 drink minimum. We were cocktail servers at the comedy club, so it's 2 drink
okay.
minimum enforcement is
Just part of
tough.
the job.
And like, imagine a comedy store, but with no audience, basically. Oh. And you're like, no, you guys have to get 2 drinks.
Oh, so you worked there when people were not really
We
going
start my Monday potluck shift. I started when there were 2 potlucks, Sunday and Monday, and no crowd for either. We start Monday with no crowd.
Oh my God. How could you pay your bills, Rob?
We ate for free if they canceled our shift.
Are you
So we negotiated for that. Adam, we fought hard for that, and Adam agreed. We should get free food
Something.
if we were cut from our shift.
So it's potential that you would show up and they'd be like, hey, there's literally no one here for you to serve. You got to go home.
Oh, it's more than potential. I'd get scheduled 6 nights a week, and probably half of them, some weeks, would just be dead. Just nobody in the building. Almost.
Did you have another customer service job or were you just working?
Oh, no, yeah. I got my job there because it's like I was so unemployed because the restaurant I had worked at was closed because it was run by just thieves and crooks.
Oh my God.
Right down the street on Sunset.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't wait to get into that. Okay.
And I was like super unemployed, and it had gone a couple months, and I was like, this is it. Like, I don't have any savings. I don't really ask for money. So I don't do, like, I was like, I don't know what to do exactly.
You're not a trust fund kid. Ugh.
And no, and it's like, the one thing I didn't want to do
was go back home and
I just ask for money because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm out here wasting. I mean,
Yeah.
I could get a job that paid bills if
Yeah,
I
you
just
could get an
wasn't
office
trying to do this garbage.
oh, yes.
So that's been like my stance. Just don't ask for money. Just make it work. And so I started applying to like
Anywhere.
waitresses, like waitresses. And I'd be like, hey, I've got long hair. I did at the time. I got long hair. I can, I'm totally easygoing. Like, I know it says
cool.
waitresses, but maybe you're
cool.
open-minded and, like you need a dude. I don't know. And Mark did. Mark needed a dude. The
Mark was
manager
the
at the
manager.
time. He was the worst manager, but like the best. He had a really good people sense, I think. Managerially, maybe not the best ideas. We had a weekly we'd be like Saturday shift, right? He'd be like, okay, whoever can sell the most hurricanes, like a frozen drink.
No, you guys had frozen drinks.
And he'd run drink competitions on frozen drinks or mojitos or something.
And
it was like, what are you doing?
No, I would have. Oh my god, I couldn't have done that.
We lost it. We lost it a lot. And he'd be like, there's no competition. And he'd be like, whoever ended up having the worst customers would win the extra $50 or
Yeah,
whatever.
who didn't tip, and it was a bunch of frozen drinks.
Or
It
like
was
whoever didn't say the blenders were broken. Like, oh yeah, that's the champion right there. They sold 10.
So when people would order frozen drinks, you guys would be like, "Hey,
There was a lot of negotiation. There wasn't a lot of oversight. So
Okay.
like we would send Punky out as the manager.
oh, I remember hearing about
And that's
this.
legitimate. Like we'd really do it. And if
Yeah.
it didn't go well, we'd go to the real manager. But
Okay,
the real manager didn't care because they didn't have to go the first time. So they were happy.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, now we're going to transition into more of the customer service stuff. So we hope you enjoyed your apps. On to the entrees after a quick break. We're back, and now it's time for the entrees. Okay, so Rob has given us a bit of a taste of the customer service experiences that he's had, but now we're going to dive in more. So what was your first job ever? It doesn't have to be customer service, but like what was your very first job?
It was.
It was?
Serving tables at Buca de Beppo in
Okay.
Dallas, Texas, Park Lane.
Cool. Okay, did you like that job?
Yeah. It was with friends. It
Okay.
was like very strange. Like we just got to be weird.
You did. Well, that place, I have never, no offense to people that work there or like it. I know a lot of people love Buca de Beppo. I get so anxious because there's no windows. I don't understand that model at all. Did they ever explain that to you guys? Or why
I
they
just think they wanted it to feel dark and like Sinatra-y and
oh, there's a way to do that and not make people feel like they're in prison. I don't know. It scared me. I don't like going there.
yeah, it was Looney Tunes there.
But they let you guys be weird, you said.
Real weird. Like we could pretend like we were like animatronic people, like at the bread station, because everybody gets a tour of the stupid place that you're going through. And you'd be like, welcome to Buca de Beppo. Welcome to Buca de Beppo.
Would you really?
Oh yeah, every time. And like my friend,
Oh my God.
he'd run around and like this is not a joke. In his apron, he'd run with his nutsack out every time.
Come
Like,
on, Rob.
you'd be at the ring station ringing in your things, and he'd like flash you his nuts, and you're like, stop it! No, do not go out there like that.
Put your nuts away.
And we'd like go in the freezer and just lock each other into a lot of locking people in freezers and like stealing limoncello because they make their own limoncello
Was it
there.
so
They used
good?
to. No, it was horrible, but it's like liquid propane. You just, woo! And there's like the fake clock in from back in the mafia days, and we'd use it and pretend it was a time machine and like interact with people like it was whatever era it was just.
Wait, that's kind of fun though. It's performative. I mean,
was
it's like
stupid.
weird, but it's fun.
Oh, it was
That was during college.
very strange. That was during college, yeah. So like,
Okay.
who cared?
Nobody cared. Literally no one. Okay. So that was your very first job ever.
I think I worked like landscaping.
Okay.
For a neighbor, I was like his summer
But your first like
handy paycheck.
paycheck thing. Okay.
Like, oh God, working is awful.
Oh God, I gotta do this the rest of my life. Ugh. Okay. So you did you do that the whole 4 years of college?
the last two.
Last two. Okay. How many customer service jobs have you had total? Take your time.
See, there and then Bumba Gump, McCormick Schmick,
We're at 3,
Ketchup.
4. Oh my God, that was Ashton Kutcher's restaurant. I went there a bunch of times.
No, you didn't.
I did, and it was bad.
Oh my God, that's
I
the
just-
place where they were run by cooks and closed.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, because I did not have a good experience there, and I filmed something there, and it was awful. And I was like, oh, after I filmed there, I was like, oh, I'll come back here and eat. And I gave it a couple chances because I
What did you
liked
film
him.
there?
We've some like independent short thing, and they rented the whole thing out, and it was very official, and I felt very cool. And it wasn't my production; it was someone else's production. And like we loved being there, so I was like, I'm gonna go back and eat here. And ooh, that place had a weird vibe when everyone was there. Wait, why was it? Wait, run by crooks and thieves? Please talk about it. It's closed, so you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're litigious people, but I think if
Oh,
you
are
Google
they?
one of their names, it's an anal rape case.
Are you serious?
It's they weren't nice.
Own that? I thought
Yeah.
Ashton Kutcher owned it.
He was a investor.
Oh, and they just fronted his name.
Him and Tara Reid were like the celebrity investors there.
Oh, but it was really.
It was definitely, yeah. It was like explicit, not even like on the hiding. Like it was like their deal those were their investors.
Wait, so when you were working there, would they like mess with your money and stuff, or was it just they dealt with external people incorrectly?
Not our money. Yeah. I
They
think
didn't fuck
like
with you guys.
I think higher level than me, they probably were messing with things.
But
There
they
was-
let you guys go, left you alone. They paid you on time. They there wasn't.
yeah, we never bounced paychecks, no,
Oh,
or
okay.
anything. Like our money was fine, I guess. But they screwed like the customers,
Really?
Those are the people they're stealing from.
Wait, how?
Well, like the liquor switches, like they're like
They
the
would
real
do
deal.
that?
Yeah, I hope this isn't.
Oh, you're
awful,
fine.
but
You're fine.
I saw it, so it's not like.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think people know that this actually happens. This happens in
I
Hollywood
didn't think it
clubs all the
actually
time.
happened. I was like, this is not real.
Oh, I watch it happen. I've gone to clubs in Hollywood where I'm like, that person just ordered Tanqueray and you're pouring well gin. Like I can see you doing.
Right, but we would put the well gin in the Tanqueray bottle.
Oh, that's trickier.
Well, that's way more illegal.
Way more because you're serving them something big. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't.
So what would they would just they'd wait for the bottle to be empty and then they would fill it.
They
with
do it in the back and down other times. Super sketch.
That was just one of the ways they would steal, but they'd make you pay for premium, obviously, because it was in the premium bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if you complained, they were like, the upper shelf had the actual liquor, so you could, like, oh yeah, you can rectify it.
Just go get them.
Yeah, be like, hey, they complained about this.
So people could tell.
No,
Never
like probably 3 times
in the whole. Wow,
in
how long-
5 years almost.
You worked there for 5 years?
First shift to last shift. Yeah.
Holy shit! Wait, how did it end up closing? Did they just you show up one day and they're like, we're done?
Well, there was a point like after the recession, they were just losing. They were
Hemorrhaging
losing so much
money.
money. It was like $31,000 a month in rent was their rent.
Holy.
So there came a point where they stopped
Shit.
paying rent as like a negotiating tactic. So we were like, we don't know if we're just gonna.
Have a job.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So now we're up to if we've got, if we include that, we're at 4 jobs. What was after ketchup?
Comedy store.
Oh, okay. So the fifth.
It was
it's your
months
fifth.
off and then comedy store.
Okay. All right. Did they give you severance when you left ketchup? Thank you.
What does that mean?
Thank you. Can everyone please hear that?
I think I got unemployment, which
Yeah.
I think was like $90 a week.
Which they may have fought, which I've had a restaurant fight unemployment before.
I don't think they could because they closed.
Oh, interesting.
Like, because there's no terms of employment to argue.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I wish everyone understood that. Like when people get let go from corporate jobs, and even not corporate restaurant jobs, but like corporate jobs, office jobs, you guys get money so that you don't, you're not living in your car
Oh, yeah.
immediately.
Well, and those are like also usually like, oh, yeah, you can't go work for a competitor for 6 months.
Non-competes are very common.
Yeah.
But
They'd be like, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, please,
luck.
actually, please be working for them right now because we're going to close.
And they're like, oh, maybe we have jobs for some of you at other restaurants. It's like,
No, we're good.
oh, I never got any calls about that.
Actually, everyone I spoke to didn't get calls either. Weird.
Didn't seem interested.
Okay. So 5. Okay. So what was your favorite job of all, obviously besides acting, which is obviously the number one, what's your favorite customer service job that you've had?
Probably the service bar at the comedy club currently.
Oh, the service bar. Okay. So
Yeah,
you
No customers.
Oh, you
Not a
lucky-
single one. I get
not
to
a
kick them out. They show up. I go, oh,
Get the fuck outta
you
here.
should not be here.
Okay.
Huge mistake.
What about dealing with the servers though? Isn't that annoying?
No, I just yell at you.
That's, what's your least favorite customer service job of all time?
Bubblegum Shrimp Company.
Really? Okay. So besides the license plate situation of the flip up and down, did you guys have to dance and sing and do all that bullshit?
Yeah, every table's supposed to get Forrest Gump trivia.
Meaning you'll go up and be like, hey, did you, what's
What color shoes was Jenny wearing at the wedding?
Oh my God.
What?
What color were they?
No shoes. It's a trick question.
Oh.
It's a common one. Very common.
Okay.
I mean, all the things.
But your hello, hi, I'm Rob. I'll be taking care of you today would be followed up with what color shoes was Jenny wearing?
No, it can't be the beginning.
Oh, shut up. Really?
Yeah, you can't just nail it out in the beginning. You got to do
So
it
it's
later.
got to finesse it
There's a
into
flow,
the-
to a bubblegum
So they-
experience.
Please explain the flow.
Well, so you got to show up. You got to ask them if they dined there before because you have to explain the license plate system. And then they were like cheesecaking that you're supposed to They didn't say tour guide things, but oh, this is my favorite dish on the menu, and don't forget to get a Run Forest Run smoothie. And the bar was a nightmare there because they had 10 smoothies, non-alcoholic, on the menu, and all their alcohol and frozen drinks.
Oh, I
was
would have hated being.
I don't know how
they
they learned those.
Oh my God, with fruit and stuff.
Yeah, and I
fruit
was trying to
smoothie.
train to be a bartender. That time I was like, oh, maybe bartending is a better idea there. And it's like, You guys do all this, every shit, like just blenders on blenders on blenders and washing and wines. Like, this is a crazy town.
No. Would they make money, though? I mean,
I think they make pretty good money. I mean, the volume is good.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a pretty high turnover. Did you make money as a server? Because tourists don't really tip. Like, it's a
yeah, it
weird-
was okay, but yeah, not lots of angry people. It's expensive food.
It is really expensive. The food, objectively, I think the food is good. I've only eaten there a handful of times. I objectively think it's good.
I think it's fine. I mean, it's a lot of fat and cheese and butter and salt and like, yeah, no,
You've
it
seen me.
is.
Those are my favorite things.
I'm agreeing with you. It's good, but like, it's like the Cheesecake Factory. Like, that's good. And you're like, it's 2,700 calories. Interesting.
It could be good because it's covered in cheese. That's my favorite thing in life.
Delicious.
Okay, so you take them through the experience. You guide them through the menu, and then you explain the license system. And then are you like, by the way, what's Forest?
No, then you get an appetizer order and you move on. Then you run the circuit there because they don't have food runners. You are the food runners.
You're the food runner too.
And
How big's your section? How many
and
tables?
the buses. Three tables.
That's it.
That's why you don't make any money. And like, they hated if you took more than that.
So were you just sitting in the back with your thumb up your ass? 3 tables.
No, you're running around the restaurant, answering license plates, picking up dishes, putting them in a dish station, running food.
You're doing like 6 jobs.
Yeah, you're doing trivia. You're like just, trying to decide, should I just run to the basement and hide for a few minutes? Like, you're volunteering to take trash out. So you
You're
don't have to
like
do anything,
anywhere to just not be there.
I used to like see how many water cups, like a balance full of water on, like, because they had the notches where you could stack them up in a big triangle, and just like walk around the restaurant with a big thing, because then you don't have to talk to people. They're just looking at you.
So managers think you're like doing something.
Yeah, you're like, oh, that guy's really showing off. People love to see that stuff. Good job, Rob.
Oh my God.
And I'm like a server trainer, so like they expect me to be, and they'd be like, I'd show up to work and they'd be like, oh, you're training. I'm like, you have to give me notice.
Wait, so training meaning you wouldn't get tips or like?
No, I get an extra $1 an hour, but I have to like now I have to train somebody and pretend like I actually care about this job. I was so bad at it. Like, I have a great attitude when you talk to me, but then like when I have to do the job where I train somebody to be like, yeah, you have to do all this garbage.
No.
I don't know how to not say it like that.
Yeah. You're like,
and like, I never have a good attitude about training. Ever. God. Never have. Never will. I don't know why.
No, because it's awful, because you have a shadow that you're trying to explain how to do a job to, whilst also recognizing that you still got to make tips. So you can't tell the customers to fuck off while you train this person. Oh, it's too much. It's too much. Okay, so that was your least favorite. Okay, you answered that. What's the weirdest thing you've ever been asked while on the clock? It can be sexual. This is not a G-rated podcast.
Oh man, I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know. The weirdest thing I've ever been asked by a customer.
Yeah. Or manager, if you want to really tell on some folks.
I don't think that's a tough one.
Okay.
I don't think I don't have
nothing like crazy.
Too many.
Yeah. You weren't like asked to go in the back bathroom with anyone. That seems to be the most common response to that question. It's like, oh, I was asked to go to the bathroom.
Not really. I mean,
okay.
I had a girl take me to the hall and like basically take her clothes off at catch up, but that was kind of like par for the course at the Christmas party or whatever.
Rob, that's an answer to this.
Well, she
you weren't on the
ask me.
clock.
It was all just like, no, I was.
Oh, you were.
They rented it for a Christmas party. Excuse me. It's like a corporate party for somebody else.
Oh, she just took her clothes off and she was like, hey, let's do this. And what'd you say? Oh no, I'm on the clock. I can't do this thing.
Yeah, I was like, well, call me or whatever, like get the number, like, not.
Don't fuck me here in the hallway.
This is not a good venue for this.
You're at my
But
job.
other people would have. I mean, everybody else, I'm like this.
They were like, oh,
that's
why
like the
wouldn't
wildest
you?
day of my life. You know what I mean?
Okay. What incident have you ever had with a customer where they asked to speak to your manager? And if you have several examples, I'll take them.
Oh, I'm sure I have so many. I mean, not too many at Buca de Beppo. Everybody was chill there. I don't think I ever had a manager on the table there. Bubba Gump, no, because that's not what they do.
Wait, they don't like,
I don't know. You're just not getting a manager there. Come on, what are you doing?
You're
selling souvenir glasses and stuff. Come on. Yeah. There's no problem. They need a manager. Unless you need like a check fill. I spilled a martini on somebody, like on a white businessman, like a white shirt business tie.
Also a white dude,
just
probably.
Boom, right down the back, Cosmo.
On purpose?
No, just Trey. Never run drinks before in my life like that.
Where was that at?
Ketchup.
Oh, a ketchup. And did he ask to speak to the manager? It was heavily implied that
I
manager.
think I had gotten a manager before he ever had the opportunity. Like within 6 seconds of spilling it, I was like, manager, help! I was like in a panic, and he was so cool. They did me so well. Like,
really?
Yeah, they were so nice. He was like, it's fine, and I ruined the shirt for sure. I mean, it was pink.
Oh God.
White to pink, but not all of it, just most of it.
What about at the comedy club? Has anyone ever asked to speak to the manager?
A lot of time, a lot of manager stuff, I would imagine, especially from cocktail serving. There was a lot more drinking, so it's a little more hazy.
Yeah.
But a lot of arguments with people, like it was a lot of 2-drink minimum enforcement back then. And then I just started to be like, what do you need a manager for? And he'd be like, I'm not going to get 2 drinks. I'd be like, I'm not getting a manager for that. You know, like,
it's the rule. You're here.
yeah, it's like, I can't elevate this.
Yeah. Because it's painted on the wall. It's on your ticket. It's on the receipt.
And I'm bad at my job.
Yeah. That's literally the only thing we have to, like, that has to be enforced there.
I feel like all manager interactions with customers come from basically in 2-drink minimum enforcement.
That feels right.
And like not understanding that I'm going to I'm going to take 22 drinks orders. I'm going to ring them in, put them on a tray, deliver those, take the next 22 people front to back.
Yeah.
If you want to drink sooner, you should have sat closer. I'm not skipping you to the balcony. Like, watch me work. Talk to me again if I'm not working. Like, I would just say that to people.
Would you really? Good for you, Rob. I
got really just dry.
Well, because it's so frustrating. It's like if you see someone running around, if you saw a server on their phone, I totally understand a reaction of like, hello, can we get service? If you see a server drenched in sweat, running drinks, and you know the bar is not in the room where you are, so they had to physically go pick up those drinks. Yes, that's the job, but also like, the number of people, did you ever have people physically grab you when you were carrying a tray of 22 drinks? That happens all the time.
No.
You're a guy.
But I yelled at people a lot. Like, if you touch me, I freaked out. I was just like, hey, how about we don't touch people? Like, let's not touch me to get my attention. Like, just relax.
Yeah. And you can also wait. It's for a drink. The crisis level. Like, if someone's choking, touch me, grab me, get my attention. Absolutely. If someone is having a diabetic fucking insulin reaction, get my attention yesterday. Short of that, don't ever touch me. Okay. What's the last straw that got you out of, besides, so obviously the ketchup job, it was like, well, they shut down. What like was the last straw that got you out of Bubba Gump?
Well, Bubba Gump, I had a manager who was like on a little bit of a cocaine bender.
What? People in the restaurant industry do the cocaine?
Yeah. I've never done it, so like it's
same.
I'm like a huge like, you guys need to calm down.
Same.
Like,
I'm the
relax.
Like, wow, you guys had a lot of coffee. Everyone's like, yeah, that's not it.
I'm like, why is your jaw going left to right?
Same.
But I was just getting like, he was reaming me in the middle of the floor, and I was like, nah. I already had another job at McCormick and Schmick's, and I was like, this is enough. I don't do this.
Did you? And you walked out?
Yeah, I was like, this is it. Close my checks and just
Good
last
for
shift.
you.
Never came back.
So he was just yelling at you in front of people because he was on a bender.
Yeah, he was just losing it for no reason. I'm like, what is it? This is bye Shrimp Shack. You know, like it's over.
Bye Shrimp Shack.
And then my next job was a good too. I had gotten the job at Ketchup already.
Okay.
Because my friend got hired as manager, snuck in there.
There you go, back door.
And so I'm at the bottom of the ladder at McCormick and Schmick's, just garbage, like brunch shifts only, and breakfast on like Wednesdays, you know. And the managers just everybody's like, there's one manager, Erica, she was fine, but Willie, the owner, was like this unbelievable idiot. And I think Erica's probably an idiot too. And everybody was just high. Like, I've never seen people like, they were like, yeah, I got this like $85 eighth of weed, and I'm like flying. I'm like, you guys love weed, I love it. But like, I quit, and I was like, hey, I'm not coming anymore, and I'm not like, we had an argument, and I was like, no, I'm not. There's not going to be like
a big
whatever. I'm going to work this week, and I'm not done. There's not going to be 2 more weeks or whatever. 1 more week, and I'm out of here. And then that week comes and goes. So, and then like next Wednesday comes, and it'll be my morning shift, and like I get a call.
Where are
Willie?
you?
And I'm like, nah, don't answer. Another one, and I'm like, all right, I answer. And he's like, all right, what's going on? You're not here. I go, oh, you didn't talk to Erica? He goes, no, I haven't talked to Erica. You know, you're late. Oh, I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'll be right there. I'm just parking.
Rob, you did not. And you were absolutely in your house.
And then 15 minutes later, buddy texts me, hey, where are you? You coming in? And I was like, no, I quit last week, to texting him, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you got to tell Willie. And I was like, I don't have to tell Willie anything.
Nothing.
There's no repercussions here. Like, I was like, how is this man? How has it been a week that it hasn't been communicated that you've lost a server?
And like the second that Erica found out, she should have gone to him.
Like, do you think I'm joking?
Yeah.
I'm not coming back.
I'm out. That's hilarious. So did you get 10 more phone calls, or that was it? You told your buddy you quit, and that was it.
There were more phone calls, but they were just ignored. We're not having any more conversations. So we did it.
How many bodily fluids have been on you whilst you were on the clock? Of other people's or your own? Like, have you ever bled? I mean, you're a bartender, so you probably cut your hand. What about other people? Have you ever been barfed on?
I've cleaned it up. I don't think I've
it's the
been
worst.
actively barfed on.
Okay. What about bled on, or like, I don't know, sweat on?
I feel like I've definitely been sweat on, because like you get repeat customers some places who like want to hug you and stuff. And
yeah.
I don't. know you too well.
Yeah, please don't touch me again.
But then people have been very nice too that I've met at returning customers. And I don't hate all of them.
Do you tip?
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, too much. Yeah.
How much? What's your percentage? Do you have an average?
No.
You just throw money?
Yeah. I mean, it's like 20%, but...
Minimum?
Yeah. 18% if like literally I think maybe this is the worst day. No, more than that if it's the worst day of your life. But like if you're just like really bad...
Yeah.
And like it doesn't seem like something's going on, like you're just not good...
Yeah.
18%.
Have you ever stiffed anyone?
No. I've not tipped at one meal because everybody told me not to. They didn't make my meal, and then they forgot to give it to me to go.
Ooh.
And then they finally got it, and it was just like just awful. And I was like, well, let me just tip. And they're like, no.
No, they wouldn't allow. I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think I would on that. Do you tip on like Ubers and Lyfts and coffee and to go and all of that stuff?
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that's what
My
I
to go is like 10, 15.
And you
20. I don't. It depends
but
if I
you
like
still
the place.
tip?
I tip them 20% because I want them to like me again.
Because people remember.
Yeah. Well, and like a lot of the places, the host makes only the to-go tips. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And it's like
It's worth.
most people don't tip on pickup, and it's like
100%. Someone put your order together. Like someone did that.
Well, yeah, and it's like that job sucks.
That job sucks. Sucks so hard. Yes. Okay. Have you ever been stiffed?
All my life, 100 times, every day. The Comedy Store was like,
All the time.
yeah, that's why you just start being like, let me do a little education for people. In lieu of my tip, I'll provide you a service.
Wait, please elaborate on that.
Which is like, like when people like just are like, oh, I really, can I get a drink? And you're like, I really just don't know what to order. I don't know. You just called me over here to order a drink. You were like losing it. And like, yeah, I just can't decide. And I'd be like, then why were you losing your mind?
Yes, why? Oh, all the time.
And or like they'll look, and I'll be like, hey, don't do that. Like if you're not ready, don't call the server over to watch you get ready. Or they'd be like, give me a diet vodka. And I'd be like, we don't have it. And I'd be like,
I love this about
what?
you. I love this about you.
Give me
so
a diet
much.
vodka. I'd be like,
Oh, I love
we only have regular vodka. And he'd be like, I want a diet and vodka. I'm like, you want a Diet Coke and a vodka separate? He's like, no. I'd be like, next time you want to order at a bar, always just say your liquor first. And I'd be like, do you have this problem a lot where like bartenders don't get your drinks? And sometimes they'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, it's because you order wrong.
Wrong. I know.
Like universally, you're just screwing it up.
It's so funny because like ever since you told me that story a while ago where you just like will school people on this, and people love to say I want a Red Bull vodka, and I'll do that now to them where I'm like, oh, okay, so you want a Red Bull and a vodka, and they're like, no, a Red Bull vodka, and I'm like, you mean a vodka Red Bull? And they're like, oh yeah, like it's because of you, because I'm like, it is annoying because it does sound
well,
like
I tell
too.
people like when I hear the first thing I hear, like if you say diet, I just wrote diet. I moved on. I'm on the next person.
Yeah, 'cause we don't have
next person.
time.
Yeah, and like it's so frustrating.
Yes, it is. Okay, have you ever been fired from a customer service job or any job? Have you been fired?
I don't know.
That's a no then.
I don't think so. I guess I would remember. I think Willie ultimately left me a message that I was fired.
After you quit.
Yeah.
Good job, Willie. Way to really get it to him. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I'd handle it well. I'm not stable like that.
Okay. Who's the worst customer you've ever had to interact with?
The owners of Ketchup.
But like customer wise, like
come in as customers. They're friends.
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, they would demand the best table and the middle of the thing with no reservation. Discounted food, immediate service, serve these under 21s, the whole deal.
Rob. Oh, I would. No, that is the worst customer.
The first like group of servers there.
Yeah.
Were like, so many people had lied about their experience or whatever, and like it was just like a nightmare. But great people, but like as a restaurant, it was like not gonna.
No
work.
one knows what they're doing.
But like one of the owners came in, and everybody's like, no, I don't want him. And somebody's like, I do, I want him. You know, trying to be like the big guy. Fired.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because he didn't know what he was doing.
No, because that's what the owner wanted to do. He'd come up and he'd be like, hey, why didn't that person have a spoon? I'd be like, well, they didn't order soup.
Oh my God.
And he'd be like, why don't I have a spoon right now? And I'd be like, dude, what do you...
Because you didn't order soup either.
I don't know. And then he'd be like, well, I want soup. And I'm like, okay, well, here's your spoon. Like, I don't know. It's just like...
What are you doing?
The worst way to run a restaurant.
I can't believe you lasted 5 years in that. That's fucking toxic as fuck. It was money. Who cares? It's not what you want to do. That's the other thing.
And they didn't have a section like... You know, if somebody was swamped and couldn't handle their section, they weren't like, well, you have 5 tables. That's your section. They were like, somebody...
Help them.
Table.
Somebody
Although they would let people be like... So like it'd be just like scummy people. Hey guys, how you doing? Oh, hey, fine. A little awkward, you know, and you'd leave and a manager come up and be like, hey, those people wanted a female server, so...
Shut the fuck up. You'd be like, really? Did they?
This is so sketchy.
Yeah, it is.
Like, why are you allowing people to request female servers here?
Ew.
Like,
Ew.
that's a lot. We're crossing a line.
there's a lot of rules that you're probably breaking. See, and this is the thing is like, and I feel like people don't understand this. When you're working in customer service because you're pursuing something artistic, which is true for most of us, well, I shouldn't say most, but a lot of us in LA, you'll tolerate some chaos and you'll tolerate some unhealthy environments because you're like, well, ultimately, I know I'm not going to be here forever. This isn't what I want to do. And if they'll give you this schedule that you want, or they'll let you off during the day for auditions, or it's just a nighttime place, you're like, I'll tolerate this because what I want out of life, I'm doing when I'm not here. That's what creates these toxic environments because you're like, well, I'll tolerate it because we have to.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No choices.
Speech over. Okay, so that's your worst customer? Because I have an example of one that was shitty to you that I saw.
Ooh, which one?
Oh, well, I watched Rob's nipple get bitten so hard, and it came when a customer... medium customer, went to give him a hug. And so Rob was like in the back trying to stock up on booze and stuff for the bar. That was like late end of the night. I was cashing out and Rob walks in and he's like, oh, I got to grab these beers. I got to whatever. And this girl comes up to him, gives him a hug and he's like, oh, hey, whatever. But you are also like focused on getting the shit you need to get fit.
It was a trap.
So she leans her head in, bites the shit out of his nipple. And I see her head go towards him. And I was like, wow, that seems rather friendly. And then Rob was like, don't fucking bite me.
Well, first I whapped her.
Yeah.
She was adhered to she was breaking skin.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah. So you moved her off of you. Yeah. He moved her.
I was in shock.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rob moved her off of him because she was biting rather hard. You had a mark. You were
for
like
days.
bruised,
No, I took pictures.
right?
Yeah. It's somewhere in my phone.
As you should. And so then the reaction on her side, she was like shocked at how upset you were. And it was like, do you go around biting people a lot? Like, is this a thing you do? The shock on her face, I was like, how are you shocked? And then she kept wanting to come back in. And Rob was being reasonable at first. He was like, just get her out of here. I don't want to interact with her. She's just got to go. And then he went back to do his job and do more of what he was already doing whilst having been bitten. And she kept trying to come back. And she said to me, she's like, well, I want to apologize to him. And I was like, it's best if you just leave. That's a wrap tonight. And I don't think, I haven't seen her since.
She didn't get it. She sent me a Facebook message a few days later that I was like, not going to read that.
No.
And then like, can you unsend Facebook messages if they're unopened or something?
You can delete them.
Oh,
yeah.
it's not there anymore. And I totally regret not like just screenshotting and posting it. Like,
Yeah. So what ended, so after you got bitten, like it got documented and that was sort of it?
Yeah, that was totally it. I was like, this is pretty extreme.
Yeah.
I don't really care. But like everybody was like, well, you know what? I was like, I think this is a little more serious than everybody's making
it out to be. Yeah.
But that's fine. I really didn't care. But I was like, this is definitely not okay.
Yeah.
Like it's an assault for sure.
No question. And if you were a fucking girl and a
As
guy
I say, if
did
it
that
was
to you,
gender reversed, forget it.
There'd be a lawsuit.
Well, I'd be in jail. I would have been, at least for the night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so I would argue that's one of your worst. I don't know. I don't want to speak for you.
But like it wasn't one of my customers. It was just
she just happened
a person wandering the building who technically did belong there at the time.
Rob got bit by a stray human.
By a wanderer. Well, we have those. We have a lot of those.
We do. Oh, man. Okay, so Rob, there's something historical about your customer service history that is, important. I feel like that everyone knows.
Truly epic.
It's epic. So the Comedy Store is an Los Angeles institution. And I believe you were the first male cocktail server there. Or
That's right. Mitzi didn't want him.
Why?
Got in. She doesn't like him.
You didn't like dudes working in the service?
Yeah, just not an option. Not blondes either.
Really?
Oh yeah, Mitzi had all these rules.
That's hilarious.
Very.
I don't think we had. I shouldn't say.
We got Christine.
Oh yeah, okay.
We do now. Oh, and we have had many since then. But like, she was like, if you talk to like Lee or Jen about Mitzi's old rules, and
they
the
were
real rules,
super strict.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so how did you get in?
It was I was doing the long hair. I was applying to waitress jobs during that unemployment period, and I just got called in and snuck my way in.
Okay.
But it was like confusing to people. I'd be serving the main room, right? And I'd be up at the front of the stage, and I'd be down on my knees up at the store. And then like Jeff Garland was on stage one time, and he's like, "Stop! So what are you doing?" And I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "Are you delivering drinks?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're a cocktail server?" And I was like, "Yeah." They let guys do that now. And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What do you say?" He's like, "Well, you look like you know what you're doing on your knees. You'll fit in."
Oh,
and I'm like that. And I was like, "Okay, I gotta go. Bye." And then Rick Ingram.
Oh, I love Rick.
He was the best. His the best one. Was in the OR, and I was like, "Hey guys, give it up for your server, Rob. First male comedy store waitress, just like a Ken doll. Great looks, good tan, no penis."
I love Rick
Kill.
so much. I bet
And
it
I'm
did.
like, did you just do that now? Did
Yeah.
that just come
Did that
up?
just
Or did
come
you
up?
like think about this? How am I going to fuck with Rob on Monday?
I love it. Did
And then
Rick?
Brent Morin would do his long hair. Does he still do like...
I don't think
Is he
I've
around
heard-
anymore?
He's around.
Okay, cool. I love it. He was funny, but he would do this whole thing on like, dudes with long hair are just jokes. And I would just stand up in the middle of the room like, what are you doing,
love it.
man?
Was it a bit? Like a bit?
A little, yeah, well, yeah, I'd look at him and like, he'd be like, oh, sorry, Rob.
I love it.
Yeah, so it was cool, but it was like a shock to people. They're like, what are you
So then,
we're
and
doing this now?
and then you said someone like a male got hired after you.
Yeah, well, me and Jared started. He was like a little small Italian guy, very cool, good piano player, really good piano player. And then there were 2 other guys. One of them was a very, very drunk. And
Okay.
one was gay. So we were a good mix of dudes. We were like a solid boy band. And
Okay.
but I'm not kidding. For the first 3 months, anytime I walked up to the bar to get a drink, it would be Mervis and Luke in the back at the service bar, and I would get sprayed, fire hosed.
Why?
Why? Because I was a dude cocktail serving.
That's hilarious.
It's such a boys club, and like
Yeah.
the door guys, and they were all door guys then, and the bartenders had a thing, and the manager had a thing, but like the cocktail servers were all women. For 39 years.
Holy shit.
So like they were like, what are you doing?
So they just came for you.
Oh man,
And, oh, wow.
ruthless for a long time.
But it was fun for you. You like
It was fun. I mean, at some point I did be like, hey, let's stop the spraying me with the Coke gun thing.
getting old.
It's getting a little tedious. But like we would hang out. I mean, everybody hung out back then too. It was really a
That would
different
be
deal.
way more fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's cool. That sounds better.
Well, now, guys, we're going to transition to the good stuff. We hope you saved room for dessert. What's the nicest thing a customer has done for you whilst you were working?
A few customers. I had like a few regulars at Ketchup who were like genuinely nice people. I don't know what they were doing there, but they did come in.
Okay.
And they would order like, $1,000 bottle of wine and be like, hey, do you want a glass? We didn't finish. Or like, they didn't care. Like Cristal, they'd be like, oh yeah, here, have a glass. We're done.
That's lovely.
Very nice. I had a guy come in. He was an agent. He signed me.
Get out of here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's lovely. That's the best thing a customer could do for us out here. Yeah, that's...
And like I thought Brian Singer and Roland Emmerich were going to be cool guys, but I just ended up getting invited to one of their weird Hollywood parties.
You should have gone.
I went.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I brought my roommate, Sarah, who was as a security measure.
I love it.
And it was like, oh my God.
So obvious. It was everything that everybody thought.
The one, okay, maybe there's a chance like I could just have a conversation with them and they could remember me in the future.
Oh my
Like
God.
you show up and you're like, oh no, this
No
is
way.
not that place.
Yeah, everyone's out of their mind.
Yeah, and it's like just a boy party and like, oh yeah, you're not allowed in a house, only on the grounds. And I mean, it's a massive like crazy thing. And I'm like, this is awful.
Yeah.
Not my scene. It was wild, but I'm glad I went because
Now you have that story.
now I got to say that I did that.
Okay. What's the best lesson you've learned working in customer service?
Maybe just be nice to everybody because
Because we're all human beings.
they're in control of things. Behind the scenes.
Okay, can you say that again, clean? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Be nice to people because they're in control of things. In the back, I don't mess with stuff, but
I don't either, but I've seen it.
I know it's been done, and I know that if I were a server and I saw something happen to something that was one of my tables, and I liked them, I would be like, no, I can't serve that to my table. Come on.
But if you didn't like him,
Or if I didn't see,
yeah,
but like you just gotta be.
just be nice.
It's just easier,
Yeah,
and it gets you more. Like
you get better service. Just be nice human. That's it. It's very simple. What's the best tip you've ever gotten
I mean,
that you can remember?
probably
Was
getting
it-
an agent, but other than that, like probably like 700 or something.
Holy shit! When did you get that?
Ketchup, we ran up big tabs at Ketchup.
Holy shit! Oh, you could make a grip of money there.
Yeah.
Did you guys tip out on sales or tips out there?
Tipped out 48%.
Get the fuck out of here. Of sales or tips?
Tips.
Oh, that's insane. They were crooks. They were taken off the top.
No. That we tip direct to people.
But 48%, Rob. God, I quit a job where it went up to 44 because I was so hot about it. I thought that was insane. 48?
Yeah.
Oh, no thanks.
We made a lot of money. There was a shot girl running around with a cart. We tip
Ooh.
her out, the bar, the food runners, then the bus boys,
That's 48% is insane.
and the hosts. That's how it got so high.
Jesus Christ. Okay. What's the best customer you've ever interacted with? Or an example of like the best customer? He's
I hate celebrities.
Okay.
It's Jimmy Fallon.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? What did he tip you really well?
No. Yeah. I only waited on him one time, but he came in to catch up a lot.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember details because it was my roommate. I worked with my roommate at Ketchup too.
Sure.
Also from SMU. But I think he had waited on him at like Cheesecake Factory when he worked there previously.
Okay.
And like they had come up with like a rapport where he called him like Purr instead of Cooper. But then he showed up at Ketchup and remembered him and was like, Purr. And I was like, this is so weird.
That's lovely.
And like was genuine, like so excited to see him every time he came in. It was like, this is so weird.
That's really lovely.
But that's nice, right?
That is very nice. Well, I'm going to tell on Kenan Thompson because this was the most insanely awesome thing I've ever seen at the store or at the comedy club where I work. And last night, Cher was waiting on him and he was low key in the back, wasn't being demanding. I think drank just water and like had a handful of friends with him to just see a couple people there. And his tab was $60. He took care of the whole thing and he tipped her $500. And she comes up to me and she's like, this is wrong. She was like, I think he meant to write 65. And she didn't recognize the name. And I go, girl, that because the names are printed on the receipt. And I was like, girl, that's Kenan Thompson. And she was like, I don't know who that is. And I was like, God bless little innocent Cher. And I was like, from SNL? And she's like, And I was like, from all that? And she's a little bit older. So she was like, I don't know. What are you talking about? Like, no, I don't know who any of these people are. And I was like, I'm pretty sure he meant to write $500. And so she enters it and I was like, but you should probably go say something to him. She went up to him and said something to him and he was like, oh yeah, no problem. Like super humble. And then as he was leaving, I said to him, I was like, hey, you're super funny. Like I've watched your career. Like I grew up watching you. And he was like, oh, thank you so much. And he like shook my hand and he was like, I really appreciate that. And I was like, also like, you're incredibly generous and that matters. And he was like, oh, and he got like super shy. And I was like, God, I love telling on at least the celebrities that do stuff like that because it's so, that $500 can change someone's life. Not in LA. I mean, that's a drop in the bucket, but it was very lovely, I thought. What's one piece of advice you would give to customers who interact with customer service workers?
Customers should do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't recommend asking what someone's favorite thing on the menu is because you don't know what they like. You know, you don't know what if you don't like the same things.
Okay.
Like,
would you get asked that as a bartender?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Even worse. Double down on don't do that. What's your favorite drink is worse than at least the food. Like, okay, I don't know what they're making in the kitchen. The drinks are all the same drinks you've been having forever.
All of your life.
Yeah. I always just say whiskey rocks.
Do you really?
Yeah. Are you kidding?
You're like, what's the easiest thing to pour?
Or when they're like, I don't do well at the front bar. Attitude wise, I do. I'm quick. I'm cordial. Yeah. But like when they're like, just surprise me. I'm like, I don't do that. And they're like, oh, come on, make me a vodka drink with fruit. I go, I can't because you can't send it back. Like you have to say the words so that I can make the drink because it's the only way I do it.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Okay.
I'm very flexible.
Okay. Not at all rigid. So your best advice would be like, just don't ask us what we were, or don't ask customers, or don't let customers ask what we as servers would recommend.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't ask for advice, what you recommend, but what's your favorite thing is such an
weird thing.
Irrelevant question. Not being at work is my favorite thing, sir.
Not being anywhere but here, actually.
Ooh, this question's not it.
You can tell you've studied, like you've done classically trained because you are so focused on like language and how people.
I think it's my dad's fault too. He was like arguing with him was the worst. He'd be like, oh, whatever, and he'd be like, I don't even know what you mean because you said this instead of that, and you're like, the like, preposition was wrong, and I'm like, shut up. Except I was just crying, so I couldn't say that. I think that's part of that.
Yep. We're good at it. Okay. So how can people get in touch with you, Rob? Like, what are you in? What shows can people see you on? What products are you hawking commercially? Basically, like, how do people get eyes on you?
Well, you could see Runaways.
Ooh.
Season 1.
Okay.
I ask for a chair.
Okay. Amazing.
Don't blink. On Instagram, it's RobVG. Don't do a lot on there. A little bit more recently. Rob the Waitress on Twitter.
That's amazing.
Because I was the first...
Male
male waitress.
Male waitress.
I used to be called Mantris by some people.
Mantris.
And I mean, what else? I don't know.
Give your phone number out because people
search my name. It's not.
Can you spell it so people know how to say it?
It's Rob the Waitress, or
no?
It's good because I can't spell waitress.
You're an asshole. No, but
ROBERT.
Okay.
And then the last name will probably harder. VAN.
Space.
Like the car.
Van,
space. Guelpen. It's a Dutch name. I think the Dutch would be like Guelpen.
Okay, well, no one's saying it like that here. Well, we're going to drop your checks now. Thanks so much for listening. If you want to help us out here at Service from Hell, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes and tell your friends to listen. It will help us reach more people that need to be schooled in the art of being kind and be catharsis for those of us still working in the industry. If you want to get in touch with us here at Service from Hell, send us your receipts to Service Hell front. Wow. Gotta do that again. If you want to get in touch with us here at Service from Hell, send us your receipts at servicefromhellpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Remember, if you can't afford a tip, you can't afford to go out. So don't be garbage and be good to people. It's easier that way. Thanks for coming, Rob. We appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
We're going to get out of here. Good night, guys.